Well, President Trump could declassify documents related to Bruce Orr and Carter Page as early as this week. Now, the documents expected to prove bias and shatter the initial reason for starting the Russia probe. Former prosecutor David Bruno is here to explain why it matters. So first of all, let's tackle that. Why does this matter? And then we'll get into whether or not it should happen.
Well, earlier this year, there was the battle between the Republicans and the Dems about the FISA applications.
Right.
And Nunes came out with his memo, Schiff came out with his, and none of the underlying data was released at that point.
Right.
Subsequently, there was a FOIA request, open records request, that required its disclosure, but it's heavily redacted.
It is so redacted. I mean, there are pages of it that have like 2 words on the entire page. It's actually comical.
There's a dispute. There has always been a dispute about how the information was obtained and what was provided to a court. So finally, if something was declassified, if these documents are declassified and open, now we could all make our own decisions as to who's right, who's wrong.
Which was supposed to be the reason for it to be released to begin with.
Sure, that's the point. That's the point. The president's trying to make his transparency. He wants to see. It's not only the FISA applications now. We're talking about Bruce Orr as well, and reports and statements and things about him. He was the conduit between the feds, the FBI, and Christopher Steele, who's the information, the author of the dossier. Right. So Bruce Orr comes in.
Fusion GPS, and Bruce Orr's wife Nellie worked for Fusion GPS as well.
Right. So Bruce Orr's with the government, and his wife was with Fusion GPS, and that is the company that did all the research, worked with Steele, and is part of the dossier and production to the feds. So why does this matter?
Yes.
Because now he's going to let it all be open. So
and the president has every right to do that.
He does, legally, without a doubt. It's under the Constitution. United States Supreme Court case law says that he is the sole one to make this decision, and he can legally, no matter what, for any reason. Well,
let's listen to what the House Judiciary Committee chair has to say, Bob Goodlatte, on why this should happen.
I also agree with those members who have called upon the president to declassify the documents that are necessary for the American people to see what was going on in 2016 and early 2017 regarding the disparate way the FBI handled these 2 major investigations. But
you disagree. You think that they should not be redacted and released?
Well, I think the timing brings this into question. Right? We are 56, 57 days away from a very important midterm. I don't think we should be doing it at this time, because it could bring up arguments that we're trying to affect the election. At some point, this is all going to be transparent.
Or let people be fully informed going into the election.
Sure, that's an argument as well. No question about it. I think timing's important here. It's up to the president, though. I want to just make a point as to what we heard. 2017 is also interesting because Bruce Orr was continuing to have conversations with Christopher Steele after he's been fired from the FBI.
That is how the FBI was still able to get information.
Really comes in. It's important to know why, how, and what was said.
Okay. All right. We'll see if the information is released. We'll see if it tells. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.